Elon Musk's message to the ones who refuse to quit. My message is simple. Elon Musk's voice resonated, calm but unshakably firm. If you're listening to this, you are the kind of person who refuses to quit. And if that's who you are, then understand this: every impossible thing you've ever imagined can be achieved, not because the world makes it easy, but because you refuse to stop. There was silence after his words, the kind of silence that doesn't fall empty, but instead fills the room with a vibration you can feel in your chest. His tone wasn't the firework-laden pep talk of a motivator, it was the grounded truth of someone who had lived every word he spoke. The journey of never giving up is not glamorous. It is often hidden behind sleepless nights, failures, ridicule, and the kind of loneliness that tests your soul. Yet, within it lies the spark that reshapes entire civilizations. Musk knew this better than anyone. When SpaceX rockets exploded in their early days, critics declared his dream dead. When Tesla teetered on bankruptcy, experts mocked him. When Neuralink, Starlink, and the Boring Company drew skepticism, people labeled him a dreamer disconnected from reality. But Elon Musk didn't quit. And this script, this story you are hearing right now, is for every soul walking through fire who needs to be reminded: quitting is easy, persistence is divine. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in the middle of your darkest hour. Nothing seems to work. Everything feels broken. You are surrounded by doubt, both your own and that of others. In that moment, the temptation whispers, quit. Just let go. Walk away. But Musk's words echo again: refusing to quit is not stubbornness, it is alignment with the truth that every breakthrough was once declared impossible. Your story is being written in those exact moments where you keep going, when logic says stop. Think of Thomas Edison, who endured 1,000 failed attempts before the light bulb. Think of the Wright brothers, laughed at for dreaming of flying machines. Think of Musk himself, sleeping on a factory floor, eating cold meals, borrowing money to keep Tesla alive while the world mocked his vision of electric cars. Every visionary who reshaped history has been where you are, faced with the cliff edge of despair. The only difference is, they refuse to quit. And so this message unfolds not just as Musk's reflection, but as a fire for your own spirit. The path to greatness will demand a price. You will be tested in ways that make you wonder if destiny is against you. You will lose friends who cannot understand your persistence. You will walk alone, surrounded by shadows. Yet, in that crucible of isolation, the foundation of your future strength is forged. Do you feel that? That burning in your chest right now as you hear these words? That is the spark refusing to die. That is the very energy Elon Musk is speaking to, the force inside you that does not understand surrender. Listen carefully. Musk doesn't glorify hardship for its own sake. He does not romanticize pain. Instead, he acknowledges that real change, real transformation, comes only to those who can keep walking when their feet bleed. You see, the future is not given, it is taken by those who dare to endure longer than anyone else. Picture this: you're building something, your dream, your vision, your art, your invention, your business. It feels small now, insignificant, like no one notices. But the refusal to quit turns invisible seeds into forests. Every step you take, even when unnoticed, is watering the roots of a future that will astonish the world. Musk once said that when they failed with early rockets, he could have given up. Investors backed out. The media mocked him. Failure was broadcast across the globe. But he stayed. He built again. And because of that, humanity now has reusable rockets that return to Earth like science fiction come alive. That is the power of not quitting. So here is the truth you must carry: the world is not moved by easy victories. It is transformed by the ones who held on when everything screamed for them to let go. This is not just Musk's story, it is yours. The very fact that you are hearing these words proves one thing: something inside you is alive that refuses to bow down. You may have been knocked down, ridiculed, betrayed, ignored, but you are still here. And as long as you are still here, your future has not been written. Elon Musk is not a god, not an angel, not an untouchable. He is human. Flesh and bone, doubt and fear. What made the difference was not genius alone, but endurance. The relentless decision to take one more step when the world said no. And now it is your turn. Let these words sink into you. Every hardship you've endured has not been wasted, it is preparation. Every tear, every setback, every sleepless night has been sharpening you for the moment when your refusal to quit will birth a breakthrough. So stand tall. Wipe your face. Straighten your back. And walk forward with fire in your spirit. Because this message, Musk's message, is a mirror, reflecting back the truth that was always inside you. This is only the beginning. My message is simple. Elon Musk's words carried the weight of lived truth. If you're listening to this, you are the kind of person who refuses to quit. And if that's who you are, then understand this: every impossible thing you've ever imagined can be achieved, not because the world makes it easy, but because you refuse to stop. The silence that followed was not empty. It was charged with something greater, something unshakable. It was the silence that forces you to listen inward, to recognize that deep in your own chest beats the same resilience he speaks of. His words did not rise like fireworks, dazzling for a moment and fading away. Instead, they sank like roots, grounding themselves into your very spirit. The truth is raw. The path of refusing to quit is not a clean road paved with certainty. It is jagged, unpredictable, filled with nights where you stare at the ceiling, questioning everything. It is the rejection letters, the failed launches, the unpaid bills, the lonely moments where you wonder if you are the fool for holding on when everyone else has walked away. And yet, if you listen closely, there is a rhythm that carries you through. A whisper in your bones that says, "Keep going." Musk knows that whisper. He lived it in the shadow of rockets exploding one after another. He lived it on the factory floor, sleeping there because he refused to let the mission die. He lived it when people laughed at the idea of sending humans to Mars, of creating cars that didn't run on gasoline, of connecting the human brain with machines. The refusal to quit is not the absence of pain. It is the decision to walk through pain with eyes wide open. You might be at the edge of something right now. Maybe your project is collapsing. Maybe your relationship is breaking. Maybe your dream is slipping through your fingers. The world around you may be telling you that you are finished. But hear this: The very moment you feel weakest is the moment history has shown to be the birthplace of miracles. Every single story of transformation carries that turning point, the night before the dawn, the collapse before the breakthrough. Edison faced ridicule. The Wright brothers were mocked. Musk nearly lost everything, 3 failed rockets, Tesla minutes away from bankruptcy. But those who refuse to quit always meet destiny on the other side of disaster. It is not stubbornness. It is alignment with something eternal. The refusal to quit is humanity's oldest secret to survival. It is the fire that carried us through endless winters, the persistence that built civilizations out of dust, the spirit that discovered new worlds across unknown seas. It is the same spirit alive in you now. So ask yourself, why are you here? Why are you still holding on despite the weight on your shoulders? It is because something inside you knows the truth. That quitting would not only end the struggle, it would end the possibility of victory. Every failure you endure is not the closing of your story, it is the shaping of it. The scars you carry are not proof that you are weak. They are proof that you are still alive, still standing, still writing your chapter. Elon Musk has often said he never wanted to be known for starting companies, he wanted to solve problems. And solving problems requires walking through storms that seem endless. But storms break. The darkest clouds move. And those who refuse to quit are the ones still standing when the light cuts through. If you are hearing this, your storm is not permanent. The shadows are not eternal. The fire you carry inside is proof that you are meant to endure, to rise, to push beyond what seems humanly possible. Do not let the voices of doubt, even your own, convince you that surrender is easier. Yes, quitting is easy. But quitting will never satisfy your soul. It will never let you see the fruit of what you've planted. Only persistence does that. So take another step. Even if it is small, even if no one sees, even if it feels like nothing is changing, move. The ground you walk now is shaping into a foundation far stronger than you realize. Musk didn't wake up one day with rockets landing perfectly. He didn't wake up with Tesla in every city. It was brick by brick, step by step, failure by failure, until the world finally caught up to the vision he never let die. Your vision matters just as much. Your persistence has meaning. The world may not see it now, but your refusal to quit is already changing the fabric of tomorrow. And as you hear these words, let them settle deep within you. This is not about Elon Musk. This is not even about history's greatest inventors or leaders. This is about you. You are the one carrying this flame forward. You are the one who will look back one day and say, I almost gave up, but I didn't. And because I didn't, everything changed. The silence returns once again. But this time, it is not empty. It is filled with your heartbeat, louder now, stronger now, echoing the very truth you've just been reminded of. You are still here. You have not quit. And because of that, your story is still unfolding. This is where your strength begins to rise again. This is where you remember who you are. You wake up each morning, and before your eyes adjust to the light, there's that familiar weight pressing against you. The doubts, the failures, the what-ifs that swirl like smoke in the corners of your mind. And yet, you rise. You get up. You put your feet on the ground and you move, even if it's slow, even if it's painful. That is the mark of someone who refuses to quit. Elon Musk never hid the truth about struggle. He didn't sugarcoat the long nights when the numbers didn't add up, or when he had to choose between keeping Tesla alive or paying his rent. He shared that he once thought he was days away from total collapse, that the headlines would forever label him a failure. But he did not let that stop him. Because for him, quitting was not an option. The mission was larger than the fear. And maybe that's where you are right now, standing in a place where the mission seems larger than your strength. You are tired, you are worn, and yet the vision hasn't left you. That vision is no accident. It was placed in you for a reason that cannot be fulfilled if you let go now. There is a hidden strength inside those who refuse to quit. It does not always roar, often it whispers. It's not about always being the loudest or the strongest. It's about being the one who still remains when the dust settles, when the crowd is gone, when the spotlight has moved elsewhere. It's about being the one who says, I will take one more step, even if my legs are trembling. Every person who has ever reshaped the world has stood where you stand now. The brink of surrender. The cliff of doubt. But history doesn't remember those who gave up, it remembers those who stood again, who built again, who dreamed again when logic said it was over. Look at your own scars. They tell a story. Not a story of weakness, but of survival. Of times you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did. Of nights you thought would break you, but they didn't. You're here. And being here means the story isn't done yet. When Musk was told that reusable rockets were impossible, he didn't quit. When critics said Tesla would never succeed, he didn't quit. When people mocked the idea of colonizing Mars, he didn't quit. And because he didn't quit, those impossibilities became reality. Now hear this clearly, the same resilience lives in you. You may not be building rockets or electric cars, but you are building something only you can build, your future, your vision, your contribution to this world. There will be setbacks. There will be nights when you feel like screaming into the darkness. There will be days when you wonder why you keep going. But it is in those moments you must remember, persistence is the bridge between failure and triumph. Quitting is the easiest thing in the world. But nothing worth having has ever been built by walking away. The great cathedrals, the breakthroughs in science, the masterpieces of art, the revolutions that reshaped nations, they were born from those who stayed, who endured, who refused to let go even when everything crumbled around them. So let this sink into your soul, your story is still being written. Every second you choose not to quit, you are writing a line that says, I am stronger than my fear. I am greater than my failure. I am unshakable in my purpose. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of yourself 5 years from now. The one who didn't quit. The one who endured. The one who built something extraordinary from the ashes of difficulty. That version of you is waiting. And the only thing that stands between now and then is persistence. Yes, the road is long. Yes, the world will doubt you. Yes, you will stumble. but stumble forward. Crawl if you must. Do whatever it takes to keep moving. Because every ounce of persistence you pour out now will return to you 1,000-fold in the harvest of your future. Remember this, Elon Musk wasn't born with certainty. He built it brick by brick, failure by failure, risk by risk. And so will you. The strength you need is already inside you. The vision you carry is already shaping the world around you. Your refusal to quit is not just about your own life, it's about every life your persistence will touch. So breathe. Stand tall. Take the next step. And keep walking into the storm, knowing the light is ahead. Because you have not come this far only to quit now. You are here because you are meant to rise. There's a moment in every struggle where the weight becomes almost unbearable. You look around and see no progress, only obstacles stacked higher than the day before. Your mind whispers, "What's the point?" Your heart feels heavy, as if every dream you've ever carried is slipping further away. And yet, deep inside, a fire still flickers. That is the moment Musk was speaking to, the moment where most people give in, but where you are being asked to endure. Elon Musk once admitted that there were times he thought he would break under the pressure. The world mocked him for pursuing what seemed impossible. They said electric cars were a fantasy, rockets returning from orbit a joke, the colonization of Mars the wild imagination of a man disconnected from reality. But he didn't allow the noise to silence him. He knew that those who refuse to quit are the ones who redefine what reality can be. That is the same truth being pressed into you now. Quitting may appear like relief in the short term, but in the long run, it robs you of the destiny waiting on the other side. Persistence isn't about ignoring pain, it's about deciding that the pain is not greater than your purpose. Think of the people who will one day look at your story and draw strength from it. They will not remember you as someone who failed, they will remember you as someone who stood when standing hurt, who built when building seemed impossible, who continued when others stopped. Your endurance will be their blueprint. This is why Musk never gave in. Because for him, the mission wasn't just about rockets or cars. It was about humanity's future. He often said, "I'd like to die on Mars, just not on impact." Behind the humor, there was a deeper truth. He believed so fiercely in the importance of advancing humanity that quitting was unthinkable. That is the kind of purpose that keeps you alive when everything else seems dead. And now you must ask yourself, what is your purpose? What is that vision inside you that refuses to die no matter how many times it gets buried? That is the anchor you must hold to when the storm howls. Understand this, persistence is not glamorous. No one applauds you when you're sitting at your desk late into the night. No one cheers when you pour your last ounce of energy into a dream that hasn't yet shown fruit. But those invisible moments are the most powerful. They are the hidden sacrifices that later shine in the light of victory. Every breakthrough is forged in silence before it is celebrated in noise. When SpaceX failed 3 times in a row, Musk had every reason to walk away. The world expected him to. They called him reckless, delusional, finished. But instead of bowing to defeat, he doubled down. He pushed forward with one more launch, the one that finally succeeded, the one that kept the dream alive, the one that proved the impossible could be achieved. That single act of persistence changed the trajectory of space exploration forever. Your moment will come in the same way. The moment when one more step, one more attempt, one more refusal to quit becomes the turning point that shifts everything. You cannot see it now, but it is already waiting. There is a quiet power in simply staying the course. You don't need to be the loudest. You don't need the approval of the world. You need only the courage to continue. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite fear. So take courage. Hold it close. Let it carry you through the long nights and the lonely roads. Because persistence is not about talent or luck, it is about endurance. And endurance always wins in the end. Imagine for a moment if Musk had quit. There would be no rockets landing gracefully back on Earth. There would be no Tesla pushing the world toward sustainable energy. There would be no Starlink connecting remote corners of the globe. Imagine the loss to humanity if he had surrendered to despair. That is the same loss the world would face if you give up now. Your vision matters. Your dream is needed. Your refusal to quit is not just about you, it is about everyone your persistence will inspire, help, and transform. So stand again. Lift your head. Take the next step. The road may be long, but each step is bringing you closer to the breakthrough waiting ahead. And when you arrive, you will look back and realize the struggle was not wasted, it was the very fire that forged you. You are not done. You are not broken. You are becoming. There's a moment in every struggle where the weight becomes almost unbearable. You look around and see no progress, only obstacles stacked higher than the day before. Your mind whispers, "What's the point?" Your heart feels heavy, as if every dream you've ever carried is slipping further away. And yet, deep inside, a fire still flickers. That is the moment Musk was speaking to, the moment where most people give in, but where you are being asked to endure. Elon Musk once admitted that there were times he thought he would break under the pressure. The world mocked him for pursuing what seemed impossible. They said electric cars were a fantasy, rockets returning from orbit a joke, the colonization of Mars the wild imagination of a man disconnected from reality. But he didn't allow the noise to silence him. He knew that those who refuse to quit are the ones who redefine what reality can be. That is the same truth being pressed into you now. Quitting may appear like relief in the short term, but in the long run, it robs you of the destiny waiting on the other side. Persistence isn't about ignoring pain, it's about deciding that the pain is not greater than your purpose. Think of the people who will one day look at your story and draw strength from it. They will not remember you as someone who failed, they will remember you as someone who stood when standing hurt, who built when building seemed impossible, who continued when others stopped. Your endurance will be their blueprint. This is why Musk never gave in. Because for him, the mission wasn't just about rockets or cars. It was about humanity's future. He often said, "I'd like to die on Mars, just not on impact." Behind the humor, there was a deeper truth. He believed so fiercely in the importance of advancing humanity that quitting was unthinkable. That is the kind of purpose that keeps you alive when everything else seems dead. And now you must ask yourself, what is your purpose? What is that vision inside you that refuses to die no matter how many times it gets buried? That is the anchor you must hold to when the storm howls. Understand this: persistence is not glamorous. No one applauds you when you're sitting at your desk late into the night. No one cheers when you pour your last ounce of energy into a dream that hasn't yet shown fruit. But those invisible moments are the most powerful. They are the hidden sacrifices that later shine in the light of victory. Every breakthrough is forged in silence before it is celebrated in noise. When SpaceX failed 3 times in a row, Musk had every reason to walk away. The world expected him to. They called him reckless, delusional, finished. But instead of bowing to defeat, he doubled down. He pushed forward with one more launch, the one that finally succeeded, the one that kept the dream alive, the one that proved the impossible could be achieved. That single act of persistence changed the trajectory of space exploration forever. Your moment will come in the same way. The moment when one more step, one more attempt, one more refusal to quit becomes the turning point that shifts everything. You cannot see it now, but it is already waiting. There is a quiet power in simply staying the course. You don't need to be the loudest. You don't need the approval of the world. You need only the courage to continue. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite fear. So take courage. Hold it close. Let it carry you through the long nights and the lonely roads. Because persistence is not about talent or luck, it is about endurance. And endurance always wins in the end. Imagine for a moment if Musk had quit. There would be no rockets landing gracefully back on Earth. There would be no Tesla pushing the world toward sustainable energy. There would be no Starlink connecting remote corners of the globe. Imagine the loss to humanity if he had surrendered to despair. That is the same loss the world would face if you give up now. Your vision matters. Your dream is needed. Your refusal to quit is not just about you, it is about everyone your persistence will inspire, help, and transform. So stand again. Lift your head. Take the next step. The road may be long, but each step is bringing you closer to the breakthrough waiting ahead. And when you arrive, you will look back and realize the struggle was not wasted. It was the very fire that forged you. You are not done. You are not broken. You are becoming. There comes a time when persistence feels less like courage and more like survival. You're not chasing glory in that moment, you're just trying to breathe through the storm, to take one more step when your legs feel heavy, to find one more reason not to let go. That's the reality no one glamorizes, but it is the reality that shapes every lasting victory. Elon Musk never hid from that reality. He was honest about the pressure, the exhaustion, the fear that comes when everything seems to be falling apart. He admitted that there were times he thought Tesla would fail, times he doubted whether SpaceX could continue, times when the weight of responsibility nearly broke him. But the difference between Musk and the thousands who gave up before him is simple: he stayed. He remained. He kept moving, even when every voice around him told him to stop. And that is the same choice in front of you now. What makes persistence so powerful is that it doesn't require perfection. It doesn't demand that you never stumble or never fall. It only asks that you rise again. One more time. Over and over, until the failures themselves begin to fear your resilience. There is a force in this universe that bends toward those who refuse to quit. It may not come quickly, it may not come easily, but eventually the walls crack, the doors open, the impossible bends. Why? Because the world cannot forever resist someone who refuses to stop showing up. Think of every major breakthrough in history. The light bulb. Flight. Cures for diseases once thought undefeatable. Every single one of them came after failure, after mockery, after endless setbacks. They came because someone decided, I will not quit. That same power is alive in you. Perhaps you feel unseen right now. Perhaps you've been giving your all and receiving little in return. But unseen persistence is never wasted. Every unseen effort is a seed planted, waiting for its season to rise. The farmer doesn't see growth the day after planting, but he trusts that beneath the soil, something is happening. That is what your persistence is doing. It is building a future beneath the surface, a future that will break through at the right time. Elon Musk was ridiculed when he said he wanted to colonize Mars. People laughed, called him crazy, dismissed his vision. And yet, every day, he kept building, kept testing, kept refining. Slowly, the laughter turned to curiosity. Curiosity turned to belief. And belief turned to reality. The impossible began to take shape because he stayed when quitting would have been easier. And if you hold on, the same transformation will happen for you. One day, the same people who doubted you will look back in awe at what you've built. They will not remember the nights you cried in silence, or the days you walked alone. They will see only the result of your persistence. And in that moment, you will understand why the struggle was worth it. The question is not whether you can succeed. The question is whether you can endure long enough for your success to arrive. Quitting is a door that closes forever. Persistence is a bridge that always leads forward, even if it takes longer than you expected. So take courage in this moment. Let the weight on your shoulders remind you that you are carrying something worth fighting for. Let the doubt in your mind remind you that fear always grows loudest before the breakthrough. Let the silence around you remind you that the greatest victories are born in quiet places. You are not here by accident. You are here because you carry something the world needs. And that something will only come alive if you keep going. So breathe deeply. Stand tall. And remember this, the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is persistence. The difference between those who watch history and those who make history is the refusal to quit. You are capable of more than you know. You are closer than you think. And the world is waiting for what only you can bring. Do not quit. Not now. Not ever. You've already proven something extraordinary by still being here. Most people give up long before this point. They let the weight of failure convince them that destiny has passed them by. But you, despite the disappointments, despite the delays, despite the long nights that left you drained, you are still standing. That alone sets you apart from the crowd. Think of it this way, every setback you've endured has been training. Every challenge has been preparing you for what's ahead. The world doesn't hand greatness to those who ask once and walk away when the answer is no. It hands greatness to those who keep knocking, who keep building, who keep fighting, no matter how many times they're told it can't be done. That's what Elon Musk embodied. After the third failed SpaceX launch, his funds were nearly gone. His reputation was hanging by a thread. Many told him to close the company, cut his losses, and protect what little he had left. He could have done it. He could have walked away, and the world might have remembered him as the man who tried and failed. But instead, he refused to let go. He pushed forward with one more attempt. That fourth launch succeeded, and that single success changed the course of his life, and ours. That's the power of refusing to quit. It only takes one moment of breakthrough to make every failure worth it. And maybe that's exactly where you are. Maybe you are on the edge of your fourth launch. Maybe everything up until now has looked like failure, but your breakthrough is waiting in the next step. You don't know which step it is, but you will never find out if you stop walking. Persistence doesn't guarantee that life will be easy. But it guarantees that life will not end in regret. To quit is to carry the weight of what could have been, forever. To persist is to know you gave everything you had, to know that when your story is told, it will not be the story of surrender but the story of someone who stood until the very end. Your future is not decided by talent alone, or by luck, or by timing. It is decided by endurance. Musk didn't succeed because he never fell, he succeeded because every time he fell, he stood again. And so can you. Look at your dream as if it were a fire. Right now, it may be small, just embers glowing faintly in the dark. Quitting would mean letting the fire die out. But persistence? Persistence is the breath that keeps the embers alive, until one day they grow into flames that light the night sky. Don't let the world trick you into believing your fire doesn't matter. Every great blaze began with a single spark. Your spark is alive, and it is enough to ignite something bigger than you can imagine. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep carrying the vision inside you, even when no one else believes. Especially when no one else believes. Because that is the moment you are closest to transformation. One day, you will stand in the light of your breakthrough and realize the storms you endured were not there to destroy you. They were there to shape you, to prove to you and to the world that you are unshakable. That's what Elon Musk's message is all about. Not that life will be easy, not that success will come quickly, but that the ones who refuse to quit are the ones who change everything. And you are one of those people. Keep moving forward. The future you've been waiting for is waiting for you too. There is something almost invisible about persistence. It doesn't always look heroic in the moment. Sometimes it looks like waking up before the sun, when no one notices. Sometimes it looks like sitting at a desk with tired eyes, writing one more page, making one more call, trying one more time. It looks ordinary. It looks small. But that is the secret. Those small, ordinary acts of refusing to quit stack into something extraordinary. Elon Musk was not born into ease. He carried the scars of being underestimated, the weight of being doubted, the sting of failure magnified by the world's laughter. But he chose to take that weight and turn it into fuel. When PayPal was sold and he suddenly had wealth, he could have stopped there, retired, and lived a life of comfort. But persistence isn't only about survival, it's about vision. He looked at humanity and saw a future at risk, a planet dependent on limited resources, a species in danger of stagnation. That vision became his reason to persist when most would have stopped. And that's the truth about you as well. Your persistence will always be tied to something greater than yourself. It's not just about your success, your dream, or your comfort. It's about the ripple effect your endurance will create. The people you will inspire. The problems you will solve. The lives you will touch. Think of it this way: if you quit now, you're not just walking away from your own future, you're walking away from the people who need what only you can give. Somewhere, someone will one day draw strength from your story. They will see that you stood when you had every reason to fall, and because you endured, they will endure too. That is why you must hold on. Persistence doesn't mean you won't cry. It doesn't mean you won't doubt. It doesn't mean you won't break down from time to time. Persistence means you cry, but you get back up. You doubt, but you still move forward. You break down, but you rebuild stronger. Persistence is not about never falling, it's about never staying down. Musk understood that. He admitted that failure was not something to be feared, but something to be embraced, studied, and used as a stepping stone. Every failed rocket, every financial crisis, every setback became part of the process. He didn't pretend they didn't hurt. He simply refused to let them stop him. And that is the lesson pressed into your own journey. You do not need to pretend it doesn't hurt. You don't need to hide your fear. You only need to decide that the pain and the fear will not be the end of your story. There is a reason the world remembers those who endure. Because their stories remind us that anything is possible if you refuse to surrender. They show us that the walls we believe are unbreakable are often paper-thin when pushed against long enough. They reveal that the impossible is simply the possible that hasn't been achieved yet. You are living proof of that right now. The very fact that you are still moving forward, even if it feels slow, even if it feels heavy, is proof that you are closer than you think. The people who doubted you will not understand how you survived, but they don't need to. You are not here to explain yourself, you are here to build, to rise, to persist. And when your breakthrough comes, it will not arrive with a whisper. It will arrive like a storm, undeniable and unshakable. It will silence the voices of doubt. It will transform the failures into stepping stones. It will make every sleepless night worth it. So hear this: do not measure your progress by how far you think you are from the finish line. Measure it by the fact that you are still in the race. Because persistence itself is victory. Every day you choose not to quit is a day you have won. You are not falling behind. You are being prepared. The pressure you feel is not there to crush you, it is there to shape you. Just as coal becomes diamond under pressure, your spirit is being refined. The fire you've walked through has not destroyed you. It has revealed your strength. And now, as you stand here, carrying scars and stories, carrying dreams and determination, you are more powerful than you've ever been. Not because life has been easy, but because you refuse to let difficulty decide your destiny. This is the truth Elon Musk wanted you to remember: greatness is not for those who quit. It is for those who endure. And you are enduring. Keep walking. Keep building. Keep carrying the vision forward. Because the world has not seen your full story yet, and the best chapters are still ahead. Every dream that matters will test you. That is the nature of it. The bigger the dream, the greater the resistance. It is almost as if life itself asks you, do you really want this? Do you believe in it enough to keep going when the world tells you no? And those who answer by refusing to quit, those are the ones who eventually hold the prize. Elon Musk could have lived quietly after his first success. Many begged him to do just that, to settle down, to protect what he had. But settling never builds the future. Safety never changes the world. It is the ones who take risk after risk, who stand in the storm, who accept the possibility of failure again and again, those are the ones who alter the course of history. And here you are, carrying your own storm. You may feel small, but what you are doing is immense. Every day you choose not to quit, you are reshaping your destiny. You are proving to yourself, to others, and even to the universe itself that you are not someone who bends beneath pressure. You are someone who grows because of it. It's important to understand something here: persistence is not glamorous. People see the victories, the headlines, the breakthroughs, but they do not see the long stretches of silence. They do not see the lonely nights when doubt whispers louder than hope. They do not see the sacrifices, the risks, the failures that feel unbearable. But you see them, you live them. And that is why your story, when it's fully written, will carry so much weight. Think about Musk again. Most of the world did not watch him when SpaceX was nearly bankrupt, when Tesla was on the edge of collapse, when critics called him delusional. Most only noticed once rockets landed and cars became global icons. But the real story was in those hidden years, when persistence mattered most. And so it is with you. The part of your story you are living now, the quiet persistence, the refusal to let go, is the foundation. This is the part that will one day make others gasp in wonder when they realize how much you endured before the breakthrough. Do not despise these days of struggle. They are precious. They are forming in you the resilience that success will demand. Without them, you would not be ready for the weight of what's coming. With them, you will carry it with strength. Your breakthrough will not just be about achievement, it will be about transformation. Because the journey is changing you even before the reward arrives. Every step you take now is building a person stronger, wiser, and more unshakable. And let me remind you, it only takes one open door to make all the locked doors fade into memory. One yes to erase 1,000 no's. One victory to make every defeat worth it. You don't know how close that moment is. It may be the next step, the next try, the next sunrise. That's why quitting is so dangerous. It stops you right before the breakthrough. That is why persistence is so powerful. It keeps you moving until the breakthrough finds you. The truth is, there is no such thing as wasted persistence. Even when the result is not what you hoped for, the endurance you built will serve you in every area of life. Musk once said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. That is persistence in action, understanding that every attempt counts, even the ones that don't succeed. So if you feel like you're walking in circles, remember this: circles still build endurance. Even when it feels like you're not moving forward, you are training for the moment you will sprint. Your story is not one of surrender. It is one of grit, fire, and endurance. And when the pages are read back, no one will remember the nights you doubted, the days you fell, the times you felt alone. They will remember that you refused to quit. Because persistence is not just about reaching the destination. It is about becoming the person who can carry the destination once it arrives. And you are becoming that person. Right now. The world often celebrates the finish line, but what they rarely speak about is the journey through the shadows. The countless hours where nothing seems to move, where every effort feels invisible, where progress feels slower than the beating of a clock. That is the true battlefield of persistence. And you are walking across it now. That's why it feels heavy at times, why it feels like no one notices, why it feels as though the universe is testing you more than anyone else. But remember this: pressure is not punishment. It is preparation. Elon Musk was once ridiculed on global stages. Critics said Tesla would never survive, that electric cars were a fantasy. They mocked the idea of reusable rockets, calling it foolish science fiction. They said Mars would remain a dream, nothing more. But every insult became fuel. Every doubt became energy. And every setback became a stepping stone. That's what persistence does: it transforms pain into progress. You may not feel it right now, but your persistence is already carving a path that others will one day walk. Your endurance is not just for you. It is for the generations who will look at your life and find courage. Just as Musk's refusal to quit changed the way humanity dreams, your refusal to quit will change the way others see their own struggles. And here's the hidden beauty: persistence is contagious. When someone watches you continue despite the storms, they find strength to rise in their own. Your courage whispers to them, if they can keep going, so can I. That is why you cannot quit, because your story isn't only yours. It belongs to all those who will draw life from it. Do not underestimate this. The world may never clap for your persistence in the middle of the night, but heaven and history notice. The universe bends for those who do not bend under pressure. Think of the seed buried in the soil. It looks forgotten, hidden, invisible. Yet every day it pushes against the weight of the earth, quietly, persistently. No one sees it. No one applauds it. But one day, it breaks through the surface, and the world marvels at the flower, forgetting the months of unseen persistence. You are that seed. You are pushing against the weight now. And you are closer to breaking through than you realize. Failure will try to convince you that you are not enough. Doubt will whisper that you are wasting your time. Fear will scream that the mountain is too high. But none of those voices matter if you keep moving. Silence them with your steps. Answer them with your persistence. Because the truth is simple: persistence always wins in the end. Not because it never stumbles, but because it never stops. Musk did not succeed because he was lucky. He succeeded because he simply outlasted the impossibilities that tried to bury him. That is exactly what you are doing. You are outlasting what was meant to destroy you. And when you finally stand on the other side, you will not just be proud of the result, you will be proud of who you became along the way. Stronger, sharper, braver, unbreakable. So if today feels heavy, let it. Carry it anyway. If tomorrow feels silent, walk anyway. If the world doubts you, believe anyway. Because every step forward is one step closer to the life persistence has promised you. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are being forged. Keep going, the breakthrough that will make it all worth it is closer than you can imagine.